Good day, Ruskin enjoyers. I hope you're doing right, because it's time for a Rustore investing review. Last week's video, of course, being June 6, 2024. So today, of course, we're here to talk about the June 13, 2024 Rustore. Right, so what's the focus of the video? What are we here for? Well, we're going to go back 4 weeks into the past to when this Rustore first appeared. We're going to talk about our initial thoughts. How did we feel when we saw all of these skins? Which one looked to be the most interesting potential investment? Could we walk away with any profits by doing buy orders or making actual purchases on any of these skins? So of course, we'll look at the likes of my predictions video. We'll discuss how we initially thought in regards to what's looking very appealing, or are there any potential problems. Then of course, we'll progress to the day where we did the abnormal buy orders. I'll talk about the prices we offered with them, and did we actually make any purchases? Were we actually feeling very confident with something by that Wednesday night? Were there potential expectations that things weren't going to work out quite alright? Therefore, we'll be talking about outcomes. So with it being 4 weeks later since this Rustore happened, did everything match up to what we thought was going to happen, or did things turn out a little bit differently? And if so, I have to explain why. Understood? Right, let's jump in. Initial thoughts. Looking at this Rustore when we first saw it, I was quite impressed. A lot of very interesting looking collection continuations. First of all, the likes of another Neon Small Storage. I mean, I wasn't surprised by that, but I was becoming less confident with them. Problems were brewing, far too many sales were happening. I knew in just a few months' time I could pick that up for cheaper around October time. We've already established that with the previous videos, so let's just move on. Quarantine Collection returned. The skin creator did a resubmission of that garage door. Hey, got accepted, very nice. That didn't glow in the dark. And I did question that. I was like, would that really make that much of a difference? Hey? Chances are it's probably best to just stick with doing a buy order. I'll wait until Wednesday. So that's what it was. I was playing it passive. It was very nice to see that Sushi Sheepman door was accepted, because that was a collection continuation for the Ramen garage door that was accepted just a few weeks before that. And yes, that did spike in demand, spike in price. It got quite expensive. So that was very interesting to see. Were we going to see more skins being produced and accepted? That was the questionable thing. MK Ultra did get another weapon skin accepted. Loads of skins were being submitted, but only so many were being accepted. I felt very confident with the likes of this, to a point where it was like, this is very flashy, colourful, the LSD aesthetic and whatnot. I'm sure lots of people would appreciate it and, get more skins accepted, but there's a Thompson. And by that point, we just had a Twitch drop being given away for free, and we already had a reasonable amount of them accepted. Was it looking to be very appealing? Or did I just want to kind of put a step aside and say, you know what, I'm just going to stick with doing a buy order. So we'll discuss that in a bit. Cell AR, collection continuation to the likes of that Tier 2 armor that was accepted just a month or two before. These weren't holding up very well by that point, and at $3.49, I was definitely questioning it. And then, of course, we saw collection continuations for the likes of the Ronin collection, the Junkernaut collection, and the Ditto collection. That was nice to see. Now, one thing I haven't really talked about that much, Neanderthal hide clothing. This was a collection continuation for the very varied looking Neanderthal collection. When I saw the design of the hide clothing, I thought, wow, the transparency there, that looks very interesting. I was rubbing my hands in anticipation for a true, proper, primitive collection on the horizon. And the very first thing I could think of was, wouldn't it be nice if we had like a female counterpart to that hide clothing there? Hide halter neck, hide skirt. So we'll discuss that in a bit, won't we? And lastly, we have the Conada Boonie Hat, another primitive skin, with that being a Boonie Hat skin. I actually saw this just a few days before this was accepted in a Rustore. I brought it in-game, we looked at it, I couldn't help but assume a lot of people would love to have that. I mean, look at it, it's still looking very goofy. And I was thinking of the idea of, well, potential on the horizon, we're going to get lots of pots and pans for clothing and armour. I'm pretty sure a lot of people would find that very goofy, very silly, and it might sell very, very well. So, knowing that, could that have been a potential problem? Well, here we hop over to here and discuss the confidence of the predictions. So when I looked at all of those skins, how confident was I in terms of any of those skins potentially being a nice investment? I wasn't confident at all. No. Basically, I looked at all of them and I just couldn't help but assume that they were all going to go below their Rustore price at some point. But at the very least, you might notice the order of the skins here. I looked at the Colin de Boonie hat and I thought, you know what? If I had to be at least reasonably confident in something, that would be the thing that I'd be most confident in. Conada the Boonie hat, very goofy, very silly, but I was not sure with the price point, the $1.49 price. For you see, making a quick comparison with all the Boonie hats, the vast majority of these sold at 99 cents each. But there was one that was different, Crabber Boonie hat. That sold at $1.49 as well. That did get a collection continuation, and at that point when I looked at it, it was still down in price. Now, seeing the behaviour of that, it sold quite a fair bit, got the continuations, but still didn't end up in the positive. I was a fair bit worried for the Conor de Booney hat. As I said, it looked goofy, it looked silly. It very likely will be selling a lot more than usual. So I did just think, yeah, even then, I still feel somewhat confident that we'll be seeing a continuation being produced and whatnot, because the skin creators quite literally told us. But basically, yeah, I could imagine like a proper full pots and pans set for it. I thought it was going to work out quite nicely. There was a little bit of optimism, but realistically speaking, having seen how the Crabbo collection ended up, I was like, yeah, I'm going to take a step back. I'm very likely just going to stick with doing a buy order, because you can be optimistic, but maybe it's better to be realistic and be a little bit smarter with your Steam wallet. Now, secondly, with the thing I was feeling somewhat confident in, it was the likes of the Neanderthal hide clothing. Again, another situation where the skin creator quite literally turned up and said, yeah, I plan to make a poncho and a bandana in the future. All right, fair enough, that's cool. And as I said, I was looking at the likes of the transparency and the design, the caveman aesthetic. I thought, yeah, this is going to probably build up to be a very lovely looking caveman style themed primitive collection. I mean, it's Neanderthal, but same thing, whatever. And then I looked at the likes of the Ronin set. Halfway through June in 2024, pretty much all the recent SAP skins that are accepted, that had been accepted over the past 2 years, the vast majority of them were in the positive. Now, these are still holding up to being perfectly fine, and I thought maybe the Ronin SAP would follow suit. Maybe it would just comfortably sit down, maybe not have that many listings, and just be comfortably in the positive. It felt like a reasonably fine thing to go after, but again, a smart buy order was the way I was going to go about it, so yeah, I left it at that. Now, the likes of the MK Ultra, I was surprised to see it. It looked cool. It stood out so much better compared to all the other Thompsons, which are some form of black or white or some sort of mix. But no, bright, colourful, bright blues, very interesting pinks and yellows. Maybe that might be different. Maybe that might be a little bit special. But I'm still not 100% sure. So I kind of left it sort of around like my fourth most interested skin. Funnily enough, I didn't put a question mark there, and evidently with how things turned out, which we'll talk about in a bit, kind of implied something there. So we'll leave that for a bit. The Neon Small Box, by this point in time, with that being accepted, I was like, you know what? I'm looking at the med storage, I'm looking at the food storage, I'm looking at the fuel storage. All of them had several hundred quantity on the Steam market. It didn't look like they'd be retaining their value very nicely in just a couple of months' time. I didn't have a lot of optimism for the comps. I knew I was just going to stick with doing like a $1 buy order. So, yeah. Now, we've talked so much about that over the past like several weeks now. You get the idea. Small boxes didn't look like they're going to hold up their value, so I didn't want to go near it. Cool. And for the remaining skins, Sushi Sheep Matador, well, to be very straightforward with likes of that, it's a Sheep Matador. By that point, not a single Sheep Matador that was accepted throughout the year of 2024 was holding up very nicely. They had all gone down below their Rustore price. It felt like an inevitability it was going to go down, and it wasn't an assurance that we're definitely going to see another continuation being accepted for the Sushi collection. Quarantine Garage Door didn't glow in the dark. I wasn't feeling very confident with it, and I knew on the horizon there's definitely going to be more Twitch drops. There's definitely going to be more Twitch drop garage doors and very cool looking garage door skins being accepted in Rustores. I didn't think it really stood a chance. And when you look at the likes of the Quarantine collection back then, there was only one of deplorable. It was a Sheep Matador. It was down by 50%, and it just didn't look very appealing, so wasn't confident in that. And with the likes of the remaining weapons, honestly, I thought I was just going to do 60 cents to 80 cents for all of them. Yeah, I know. So, yeah, I wasn't feeling very optimistic with that Rustore. So let's move ahead. A few days later, or rather, several days later, we were here. We saw the sales, and we were discussing what prices were we going to offer for the likes of all those skins on a Wednesday night. So if we were to pretend like these were the price, the sales we had, just like take away by like 1,000 subscribers, Neon Small comp storage at that point, lowest selling Neon Small box, didn't really look like it was going to achieve much, wasn't feeling very confident in it. So in regards to the barter price, I was like, you know what, I think I'm just going to stick with doing 90 cents to 1 out of 10. I was really enforcing the point of, I know I can just pick that for a cheaper price around October time. So that was my answer. Conor de Booney hat did end up selling quite a fair bit, matching up pretty much perfectly with the likes of the Crabbo Booney hat. I was like, yeah, I'm probably just going to stick with doing like 60 cents to 80 cents. Wasn't perfect, but like I just didn't really want to risk it. Quarantine garage door. Well, I looked at it, I thought about it. I was like, you know what? I think I'm just going to stick with doing 80 cents to $1.10. Like, I just couldn't help but assume, as I said, there's going to be plenty more garage doors after that. So, didn't really stand out too crazily. I thought I'd just go play it extra safe with the barter price. Sushi sheepman door, I did $1 to $1.50. I thought, okay, that looks cool. I did see continuations being produced, but were they actually going to be accepted? We don't know. We didn't know. So, not knowing, and of course, as I said, looking at all the sheepman doors that are accepted up to that point, everything was in the negative. Nothing looked super good. So I just thought, nah, just leave it. With the likes of the Neanderthal hide clothing, I looked at that and I thought, yeah, I think I'm probably only going to do 80 cents to $1.10 for both of them. They sold quite a fair bit, but there wasn't an immediate continuation being produced that like weekend. So I thought, all right, I can't help but assume a lot of people probably will, unload their stock on the Steam market, and yeah, it might turn out to be a little bit awkward. So that happened. And then, of course, with likes of the Cell AR, $3.49. As I said earlier, mentioning the likes of the previous $3.49 AK-47 skins that we had throughout the year, most notably the likes of the El Diablo AR, they all went down real bad. Except Thundergold, that's been doing alright, but plenty of other ones here, selling at higher prices, and then struggling and ending up quite close to $1. There you go, Mythical Dragon as well, sold for $3.49 as well. Now it's down to just slightly above $1, $1.12. So, yeah, no, didn't feel very confident in it. 60 cents to 80 cents. And for the likes of regular skins, MK Ultra Thompson, wasn't really sure. It didn't sell like a ridiculous amount, but still sold like a fairly decent amount compared to all the other Thompsons compared to this year and whatnot. I only suggested 80 cents to $1.20. And then with the likes of the SAT, I felt somewhat confident in it. I thought, you know what, in the long term, that actually could be easily bouncing up and going up into the positive post-Christmas, summertime next year. I'm offering $1 to $1.50. And then with the likes of the Junkernaut Star and the Ditto Python, didn't have a lot of faith in them. Just take a look at all the Junkernaut weapons. It was pretty much the same thing a month ago. And then this was literally the second weapon skin for a weapon-only collection, and that MP5 was not holding up at all. Yeah, 60 cents to 80 cents for both of these. So, again, I saw the sales, and I wasn't even that much more confident. I didn't make any purchases, and now we'll discuss the outcomes. So, looking at all of these skins, with my predictions, didn't have a lot of confidence. When I looked at all of these skins, when we did the abnormal barders, it really didn't look like things were going to work out very well. And evidently, I can sit here and say it basically matched up to the expectations. Comp storage pretty quickly did go below its rustore price. Very unfortunate to see. Yeah, it's still doing a fairly decent job of retaining most of its value. But, you know, as I said, as we get closer to October time, the expected point where pretty much all skins are going to reach a new low point, that right there, oh, it might be down to $1. That is what I've been expecting for a very long time. Yep, you can look at the barter build-up. Plenty of strong barders, like slightly above $1.10 and, you know, around $1.10. But will they stick around? Will they actually absorb all of those dumpings onto them? And I'm talking about, like, stock being dumped onto them, not like other things. But you get the idea. We'll see. But I do believe $1 will be its lowest point. And when you have listings like that, certainly isn't helping it out, is it? Now, how many more of these small boxes will we see? We shall see. Because, of course, you know, we've got one more there, and then we've got the lockers and whatnot. But I'm pretty sure the skin creator is intending to produce some more of them. I just don't know when this whole neon storage resurgence is going to end, so we'll see. Looking at the likes of the Colin de Booney hat, well, the outcome of this was we did see a continuation being produced. We actually saw 2 or 3. It's a bit awkward to sit here and say. If I could just quickly show the workshop. The Kitchen Warfare collection got many interesting different designs for ponchos. And in one instance, we had a bandana with the ponchos. Very weirdly, the combination of this Kitchen Warfare poncho with the bandana, only the bandana was accepted. Now, maybe it's the state of the poncho not exactly looking super great, but, I mean, it was never looking cute and beautiful and whatnot. It was always looking a little bit awkward. But yeah, only the bandana was accepted, and that sold for $2.49. Well, during that period of time, the Colin de Booney hat did spike in demand, spike in price. It did happen. We did see it happen. It lasted a day, and then it went back down in price again. Oh, dear. So we were suggesting prices of like 60 cents to 80 cents. Like I said, in the future, I do still believe a lot of people will be buying it, purely for a goofy thing to wear as they run around and be silly and whatnot. It's still doing fairly decent in terms of retaining its price, but it will slowly go down. October time, how low will you go? We'll see. But as of now, you're doing a pretty good job retaining your value, so that's fine. Quarantine garage door. As I said, will there be more garage doors in the future in Rust stores? And yes, there will. Junkernaut garage door came out 2 weeks after that. Glow in the dark, transparent. Well, that's kind of special, isn't it? So yeah, that kind of took up a lot of the attention. Then we had the likes of Moto Party, a fun, goofy neon design with the arrival of the July Force wipe, the update where they introduced bikes and motorbikes and whatnot. So that's nice and goofy. A lot of people bought that. A lot of people appreciated it. And on the horizon, we do have another Twitch drop. So unfortunately for you, Quarantine Garage Door, we are not exactly looking at very fun times for you. Now, there was a collection continuation that was produced and accepted, the Thompson, and it didn't do anything for this, I'm afraid. So we never saw the remake of the large box, and yeah, it's just kind of sitting there. Now, what do we suggest? 80 cents to $1.10. It seems to be doing all right as of now, but I can't help but assume it will be going below $1 at certain points. We shall see. So if you still have your barders, monitor them, keep an eye on them, you get the idea. Be prepared for it to potentially go any lower. With the likes of the Sushi Sheep at the door, lo and behold, it's down by 34%. Oh dear. Which is kind of awkward because the garage door is now selling for $6. But that just goes to show the difference between sheet metal doors and garage doors as investments. Now, even then, we do still get quite a lot of garage doors, but every now and then one of them does work out ever so nicely. With the likes of all the sheet metal doors this year, every single one is down bad. They are not reliable investments. It's not like this huge, big fat quantities causing walls and resistance and whatnot. No. It just doesn't have that interest anymore, I'm afraid. Now, yes, we did see more continuations being produced by FaZe. As I can show you, there was the likes of the karaoke double door, the large box. They weren't accepted. Yeah, that's annoying, isn't it? It's quite sad. So, yeah, it's in an awkward spot. But yeah, the garage door just comfortably sitting there, selling at how much again? Yes. Oh, $7. Are you getting bought out? Are you getting bought out now? No. Oh, God. Yeah, that seems to be getting quite a lot of interest as of today. 60 sales. If you have an answer for that, feel free to comment below. That's kind of interesting. Right, then we've got the MK Ultra Thompson. Blah, blah. The only skin sitting here that's in the positive took me by surprise. Don't actually know how that just ended up going up and up and up. So, yeah, there's only 8 listings. People clearly like it. The bilders haven't really changed too much, I guess you could say. Yes, more bilders did appear, but, yeah, surprised. Like, it really didn't look like everything was going to work out instantly, and then it just kind of did. It did dip down to a certain point where it went down as low as about $2, the price it sold for, and then it went back up. So, yeah, no, people like it, people appreciate it, and it turns out at least one Thompson so far this year is in the positive. So if you managed to buy a few of those and flip them, congratulations. That I was wrong on that one. I played it too safe. I was not expecting that. But, you know, in comparison to the likes of all of these other skins here, I felt like I was correct. Neanderthal hide clothing, well, it was quite unfortunate with what happened to this. There were continuations produced. We did see hide halter neck and hide skirt, and I thought that looked really nice. And I thought, you know what? A lot of people were going to appreciate that, and lo and behold, it wasn't accepted. So, you know, it's a bit annoying how we have all this male primitive clothing, yet we don't really have that much for the female characters. And if you're stuck with a female character like me, nothing really looks good. So, yeah, that wasn't accepted, unfortunately. But we never did see the poncho and the bandana, so keep an eye out for that. It could still potentially appear. Sell AR. Well, oh dear. You basically followed the likes of the El Diablo AR and the Dragon AK from the Lunar New Year. So, oh dear. But just look at all the AKs that came out so far this year. Only one of them's in the positive. All the rest not exactly holding up super great. Some of them are still doing a fair bit better compared to others. Apocalypse Nomad AR and Black Diamond AK-47 only down by 16%. Sweet Dreams only down by 12%. Quite a lot of these though down by about 50, 60. Awkward. But yeah, Thunder Gold AR also sold for $3.49. It's now selling at $3.74. Wow. So unfortunately you didn't hold up very well. Hey, let's see if we see some more sale skins being produced and accepted in the future. But yeah, matched up to expectations. We played it safe and it worked out alright. Ronin Sat, you're now sitting here at $1.64. but I get the feeling it's probably not going to go down that much more. There's only 23 listings. It didn't really sell that much. It did like 10,500 subscribers, which is fairly tame. But yeah, no, it's just only got 23 listings. And I don't really expect a ton more. And yeah, maybe this is potentially going to be around the price which will be its lowest point once we hit October time. And from then on, we can only expect it to rise up and up and up in price. It will very likely end up exactly like these other sap skins in the future, where it's only slightly above its Rustore price, but it's still in a better position. And yeah, this has 141 listings, this has 15, and this has 48. It's a bit varied, but I think the Ronin sap will be working out quite alright. I will sit here and say, as of now, it's matching up to expectations, but you can keep an eye out a little bit more if you want to. Yeah, it's looking alright. And I said 60 cents to 80 cents for both of these two weapon skins here. They are down to around $1 each. They did not hold up very well. We played it safe, and lo and behold, that seemed to be the correct answer. As I said, with the likes of the Juggernaut weapon skins, pretty much all of them just went down to around $1. They went down by 50% each. And the Ditto Python, I just wasn't feeling confident with Python skins as at that point, and I didn't think Ditto Collection was going to change other than just being a weapon-only collection. Played it safe, worked out quite alright. So, yeah, overall, I'd sit here and say most of the skins I did get correct. Only one of them didn't really get very well correct there. But that was a surprise to me. I was not anticipating that whatsoever, so applause to the likes of you there, Thompson. So, hey, recently, I've been putting a lot more focus into sitting here and saying we are much better off just sticking with doing buy orders. We are getting closer to the dreaded autumn fall seasonal dip, and we're already seeing like so many skins just dropping like a just like that so quick. So yeah, I mean, I think we'll be getting a lot more skins correct in the future from here and now, because we're just playing it safer and safer and safer. Please, 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 please keep an eye on all of the recent barters you might have done with the likes of your accounts. You've got to monitor them, because prices are going down, down, down. And if you get caught out, you get dumped on all of that stock you've paid for, and you've lost a lot of Steam wallet. So if you care, put the effort in to keep an eye on all the builders. This account doesn't really have that many Rust skin builders, but you get the idea, you get the idea. So next week, we will be discussing June 2024 Rustore, and that's looking super great, isn't it? Oh dear. Hey, seems to be a bit of a trend now. So at the very least, I'll sit here and say thank you very much for watching the video. I would love you to sit there and say, did you make any investments? Did you do any builders? Did you actually make any purchases with the likes of the June 13 Rustore? Did that work out quite alright? Or do you still have your builders down because you played it extra safe and you're still feeling confident you can pick up some of these skins for a cheaper price and hopefully flip them for a better price in the future and whatnot? Just feel free to comment, say your thoughts and whatnot. I hope this video is a lot more faster and swift and straight to the point. In conclusion, everything mostly matched up to expectation, and chances are it very likely will get cheaper as well. So we'll see how it all turns out, maybe in another few months' time, I guess. Thank you very much for watching me. I greatly appreciate it. Have a lovely day, and I'll speak to you soon.